Welcome to The Interest. I'm Sarah Wolak. Today, we're joined by Shane Kidwell in a new edition of Tech Talk. After that, stay tuned for Road to Riches with our friend Steve Richmond. But first, a story. From medical marijuana and funeral caskets to baskets of puppies on Valentine's Day, almost anything can be delivered to people's front doors. Jordan Nutter, known across her socials as the Mobile Mortgage Mom, is a loan originator and vice president of the Creator Collective at NFM Lending. In 2024, she's asking, why can't we deliver financial literacy? Here's the story.
I don't feel like there's enough education around how to be an adult in general, but really home buying, they just don't teach this in school.
In February, Jordan Nutter crammed her 1-year-old daughter, Charlie, and husband, Zach, in a 38-foot RV for an epic adventure, traveling the country to educate borrowers on the pluses and minuses of housing finance.
The main goal of this is to bring education directly to the borrowers, because my platform on social media is geared towards homebuyer education and anything and everything in between, of the basics to super complicated guidelines.
On social media platforms like YouTube and TikTok, Nutter uses mortgage education to build a following and future leads.
I get a lot of good feedback when I work with my borrowers that say, I've listened to you for a year. I think I'm ready now. Can you help me? And I love that. I love to be able to help as many people as possible.
By taking that mission on the road, Nutter hopes to get a better sense of why so many would-be borrowers lack an understanding of what it takes to buy a home. Our staff writer, Ryan Kingsley, has been following along as Jordan's trip goes underway, from her first stop in Tempe, Arizona, to crossing the great expanse of Texas, to finally reaching the East Coast. He recently caught up with Jordan as she was traveling through Florida, leaving the Tampa area en route to Fort Lauderdale. In addition to educating homebuyers, Nutter's been teaching teams of real estate agents how to use social media to improve mortgage education.
Because not every agent wants to do listings or buy side, and some prefer VA buyers. So I was just speaking to that group yesterday about how to really hone in on your community and all that.
And she's even learning some things herself. Speaking to a team of agents in Tampa, Florida, for example,
a lot of them that I was speaking to focused more on the repeat buyer. So those clients, from what they were telling me, tend to have a slightly, which makes sense, I feel like this is really across the country, a slightly higher advantage purchasing because they carry that equity, whether they bought during the pandemic or they bought prior to the pandemic, and now they've accrued enough equity to be able to move into that second or third home.
Follow our monthly updates of Nutter's ongoing tour at nationalmortgageprofessional.com. For The Interest, I'm Sarah Wolak.
We all dream of owning a home, but for too long, if you didn't fit the mold, you were stuck. Stuck because the system worked for everyone except you. We've changed that. Angel AI uses advanced AI technology to give a 100% trusted solution and fast answers for worry-free financing, allowing you to achieve fair and equal access to lending. Angel AI. AI you can bank on.
Hey everybody, it's Shane Kidwell, and I'm here for another, I called it TED Talk, but that's not it, it's Tech Talk. And I'm here with a good friend of mine, Candido, who's a contributor inside our coaching community. And we're constantly nerding out on technology. We're constantly at the forefront, I call it the bleeding edge of what's cool and relevant to help us become better marketers, better brand authorities, and better originators. And one of the tools, and we've talked about this before, but we have to continue to talk about it because it keeps evolving over time, is Canva. And guys, if you aren't leveraging Canva, and they have I think it's a pro version, and it's like $12 a month for the cost of a coffee for you and I in our East and West Coast expensive cities, you can have one of the best, and best for many reasons, marketing platforms out there. Candido, how are you leveraging Canva in your business?
Pay $12, please.
Is it 12? I mean, I don't even know if it's 12.
I think it's 12, something like that. But, for me, I create templates that I use for my social media. that's what I use it for the most, right? So, Shane, my social media, I try to be very intentional about.
Yeah.
So I have certain posts that I do every single week. So it's nice and easy for me to be able to use those same templates. And I could just kind of plug and play using Canva. That's the number one thing I use it for. But I mean, you can use it to set up open house flyers, different emails, marketing. There is so much that you can use Canva for. And now they're even starting to include some AI with it. So pay the $12, please. Canva is excellent.
Well, and I have recently started using it for creating websites. Okay. So it's got a great website builder that you can use for, I would call them singular focus websites. So for example, trigger leads is like a hot topic, but really what we should be talking about as originators is how, as a consumer, you can protect yourself from being spammed. And so we created single topic websites for all of our originators that dwell on trigger leads and how to opt out of receiving trigger leads. And the great thing about this, if you have people on your team or you build a template you like, you can duplicate it and use it for multiple topics. And so a great challenge to everybody would be to come up with a topic that you speak on every month. Build a website for that topic. And the website could be informational. It could be capturing, consumer information to start building a list, but you can make them compliant. They're so easy to make. They're free. They have their own unique URLs. Like, they're a no-brainer.
And another good thing about Canva that I really like, you can add other people to it. So if you have someone else on your team that wants to collaborate, or a VA or some sort of assistant, they can go ahead, jump in, have access to it as well. So, that's a no-brainer if you're part of a team and want to use it that way.
Low cost, which Candido and I would both say is in essence free, simple to use. They cloud source thousands upon tens of thousands of designers, people who have great ideas that you can just really it's like stepping into the express lane or the toll lane, right? You're driving past everybody as they're trying to create their one-page flyer, and you're building out amazing, sexy graphics, websites, content within minutes. And content is king in 2024. And as we continue to evolve as originators, Candido, my man, this was great. Thank you for coming on and sharing some insight. Guys, as always, thank you for taking the time, and get out there and leverage that technology.
I'm reading it, I'm seeing it, I'm hearing it. Everyone out there says, in today's market, we need to go back to the basics. Got to tell you something. That's ridiculous. I'm not going back to the basics. Am I going to start ordering credit reports again and have them come over on my fax machine and fall behind my filing cabinet and mess up my credit reports? No. What you need to do is not go back to the basics. You need to build on the basics. You need to build on the basics. We already have the basics. We know the importance of networking. We know the importance of relationships, but we need to build technology on top of that. We need to build new relationships on top of that. We need to build new products, CRMs, whatever it is. So we don't go back to the basics. We build on the basics.
For more on these and all of today's top stories, go to nationalmortgageprofessional.com.